What's going on? Joe Peach here with Paradise Forever Hawaii. And I don't know exactly where to start, so I'm just going to start. I've recently been introduced to this content creator named Always Marco. And he is a content creator in a genre known as anti-MLM. And he's been gaining incredible traction. His ability to explain his point of view is very clear. It's very succinct, despite him saying several things that are completely untrue. But his point of view is clear. He also does these very compelling hidden camera sort of situations where he goes into companies that use an MLM model and discovers what his bias was looking for. And he puts together these videos in a very clear way. The thing that really got my attention of his is that he does these debates. And in these debates, he brings on to his channel or goes on to other channels to have a debate with a person who is pro MLM. And for the most part, he has done a fantastic job in these debates. The people he has been debating have brought up some pretty good points, but they've been very argumentative. And my belief is that they've been argumentative because they're defending while he attacks. He says some fairly untrue things, and they try to explain the untrue thing rather than just pointing out what is untrue about it. And recently, he posted a video called "Are There Any Legitimate MLMs?" And he goes through some really interesting stuff. And what I'm actually going to do is walk you kind of through it. I'm very new at this. I don't have a following, which he'll probably make fun of if he ever sees this video. He probably won't ever see this video because he is at a level. Dude has 86,000 something followers on YouTube and lots of Instagram followers and all the things. And so me just getting started at this point, he probably won't see this for a while, but he has finally created something in me that I have to at least get started. So I'm going to go through some points that he brings up, where he brings up the FTC website on MLMs. And he says that a legitimate MLM sells a product to consumers who are not part of the MLM. And then they also allow their participants to recruit other people to sell products, and they earn an override or a commission on the products that they sell. And he breaks down how this is impossible, how this isn't likely, how who could make money doing this. And I want to break down kind of some of the points that he makes and how he calls people out all the time on these things called fallacies, where they'll say something that sounds true, but it's not true. And he does this all the time. And I don't even know if he's doing it. I don't know if maybe he's been studying MLM with his bias for so long that he's actually become a person who speaks like they are in an MLM. But I'm going to break these down. So one thing that he says is that in this day and age, in 2023, it is improbable, if not impossible, for a person to direct sell a product, because Amazon, Walmart, Costco exist. And what chance does little o me or little o you or anybody else in that regard have to sell a product when they're using all of these incredibly sophisticated tactics to sell you products. Well, you kind of answer it by saying that those sophisticated tactics, people are kind of tired of them. You know, people kind of, they fast forward through commercials. They get into habits of buying what they buy, and that's all they buy. They don't like to be advertised to. And as much as he would like to call that a benefit to his argument that it's that much harder for an individual to compete in that arena when people don't like to be advertised to in the first place, is your average person who decides to participate in an MLM's compensation structure. At the beginning, they have a dream. You know, oftentimes they'll say that an MLM sells you the dream. They don't sell you the dream. You have the dream. What they sell is a path to realize the dream that has worked for other people in the past, and it is a proven path with proven areas of success that I will completely agree with him needs some adjustment, because the path needs to be changed to adjust for the current world that we live in. But when you join an MLM, when you participate in an MLM, I don't want to say join, because really, you know, yeah, it's not a good word for it. Joining is not a good word for what a person does when they decide to participate in an MLM. They decide to participate in the MLM because they see an opportunity to make additional income, passive residual income, in a way that doesn't require, and this is important, it doesn't require they take on a brand new thing and start over. It doesn't require that they figure everything out themselves. It doesn't require that they compete by themselves with the big boys. One of the terms that people who participate in MLM use often is you are in business for yourself, but not by yourself. And I'll just, again, I've been watching his videos for the last few days, and there's so many things that he points out when people say things like that I need to address. I completely agree with him. Deciding to participate in an MLM does not in any way, shape, or form mean that you are in business. He says that all the time, and I want to agree with you. You're not in business when you decide to participate in MLM. Most people who decide to participate in an MLM never treat it like a business. They treat it like a hobby. And like a hobby, it costs them money. I disagree with the idea that they lose money, despite that being in the description sometimes. People don't lose money when they decide to participate in an MLM. They spend money when they decide to participate in MLM. They know where it went. They didn't lose nothing. They know exactly where it went. It went to the MLM. Generally, when it goes to the MLM, they get some kind of product that they either use or don't use or sell or don't sell, whatever. But they know exactly where it goes, so they didn't lose the money. They spent the money. Now, they spent the money generally because they wanted to make some money there. But generally, they don't treat the opportunity like a business. And here's what I will say. You can decide to go into business and decide to sell a product or service that is attached to an MLM compensation plan. You can do that. You can have a spa and decide to participate in an MLM and sell essential oils, for example. You can decide to go into business as an insurance salesman and use an MLM product and service that is attached to their compensation structure to build your insurance business. You can do a lot of different things. He likes to bring up shampoo. You can choose to go into business and sell shampoo that is attached to an MLM compensation structure. And if you choose to go into business and you treat the business like a business, businesses are designed to sell products to customers. And that is what the FTC says, is that a legitimate MLM is designed to sell products to customers. Now we get back to why he says it's impossible when you're in competition with these folks. You, as a new person who's decided to participate in an MLM, generally have a job. You're generally working for your money. You're making a living working, doing something, whether you are working for someone else, whether you do own your own business doing something else, whether you are an independent contractor where you cut hair, you do makeup, you fix cars, whatever, or you are an investor who is made a lot of money in cryptocurrency or lost a lot of money in cryptocurrency, but is learning how to trade in the foreign exchange markets or learning how to do stocks and options and things like that, right? The cash flow quadrant, as they would say it: employee, self-employed, business owner, investor. One of those ways you are earning money. Most people, when they decide to participate in a network marketing way, I'll just leave it at MLM so he doesn't, because yes, the words become interchangeable as you hear it, but an MLM, that's how you're earning your money. And you are spending money with the MLM for the opportunity to offer their products and services. Now, why would you do that? Well, there are a lot of reasons. One, and this is often the case, you were told or shared with, or whatever you want to call it, about said product or service by someone that you know or don't know. And when you were made aware of the product or service, you saw value in the product or service. Now, value is pretty relative, okay? Yes, oftentimes we'll use his fun example of shampoo. There are shampoos that are $5 at the drugstore. There are a lot of people who see value in using a shampoo that is $5 at the drugstore. There's also people that see value in spending $30 at a better quality shampoo at another department store. There are people who see value in spending $100 on a super high quality shampoo that is made in the Alps with water from all of this crazy stuff because they see value in it. Value is subjective. If a person sees value in a product, whether or not they can find the exact same product somewhere else for cheaper doesn't mean that the product doesn't have value. And in general, if you really look, most MLMs have some distinguishing factor compared to other comparable products that they promote makes their product better. And again, it's subjective. But in any sales, the products are subjective. So this person who has now decided to participate finds this product and they see value. And because they see value, when they hear that there is a compensation structure attached to this product through an MLM company, that they can make money by finding other people who will find value in this product is why they decided to join the MLM. Now, beyond that, second thing, you can make money by the sales of the people you recruit. That is also very attractive to people for reasons that he describes. I'd rather have 1% of a million people's effort than 100% of my own effort, right? Or 1% of 100 people's effort than 100% of my own effort, right? That is attractive. And he admits that that's attractive. But his point is that even though that's attractive, the sales are impossible. So let me get back to that. Now, you found value in this product. You are going to work. You are living your life. You are going out. You are meeting with friends. You're talking with people. If you are trained properly, which I completely agree, most people who decide to participate in an MLM never get trained properly. And they either don't get trained properly because they didn't treat it like a business and they didn't get the training that the company, their upline, their sponsor, whoever provided. That's very common, that a person doesn't take it seriously enough to get or absorb the training. And from time to time, they are not introduced to by the person who introduces the MLM to them access to the training. And they are never trained properly. They wanted to treat it like a business, but they were never given the proper training. And when they got emails from the company telling them to come to trainings, they didn't pay attention because they were never told to. And when they decided that they were going to go into business, they never took any effort to train themselves on business. I saw this one girl post a video about how when she was in an MLM and she started to make over $100,000 a year, they didn't tell her that she has to pay quarterly taxes. And so she was fined all of this money, and it was their fault because they didn't tell her. Okay. Some people have a mindset where if they weren't told to do something, the information to do it isn't out there. I am a huge believer. Otherwise, I think we all have the access and ability, if we live in a developed nation, to get a library card and go into a library and learn just about anything. You can choose to take responsibility for your actions and yourself if you want to, but I do get there are manipulations. There are people out there who will encourage you not to. And part of the reason why I'm going to start making these videos is because I want anybody who decides to participate in an MLM opportunity, whether it's with me or anybody else, I want them to watch always Marco's videos first. I really want people to be aware of some of the pitfalls and challenges that face the person who decides to participate in an MLM. And I still think that this business model will survive, because I still think that if people do the proper research, they will recognize that this is a legitimate way to develop great wealth, the right way over time, right? This isn't get rich quick unless, like he says in his stream, the only way to get rich quick is to sell a get rich quick scheme. And I completely agree with that. But using an MLM compensation model as a business owner is a way to create extreme wealth, as it has been done and documented time and time again. Now, one thing that I want to make absolutely clear as I go through this, I am one of the people who has still not turned a profit in MLM. So just to be transparent about that, I'm not claiming or flexing. I still work other things. I do a lot of other things in order to maintain my lifestyle that do not have anything to do with my MLM. But what I do tend to do is I tend to choose now things that are aligned with the building of my passive residual income over time, which I do have elements of in place. And I can get into that later. But for now, just know I'm not claiming that I make a whole bunch of money. I don't. Okay? Yeah. Now, jumping back on to why people would actually choose to sell and why selling would work. Well, as you go about your day and you found this product that you like, that you're using maybe, or that you like that you're not using yet because maybe you couldn't afford it, maybe you see value in it, but you don't see value in it for you in that moment, but you see that other people would have value in it, right? You choose to mention these as you go about your day to people who know you, starting with people who know you. Why do you start with people who know you? Because they know you. They know you, like you, and trust you. And all things equal, generally, people will eventually buy from people and brands that they know, like, and trust. Now, because most people are not trained properly, you get weird. And you become somebody that people do not know, like, or trust. You become somebody different. You become the MLM salesperson. And people do not like the MLM salesperson. People do like their friend who found a product that can add value to their friend's life. You do it all the time. You refer people to things all the time. And in general, when you refer your friend to something that's going to add value into their life, they appreciate that. But because they're not trained, they get weird. Well, let's just say this person was well trained and they didn't get weird. They tell people that they know about this product that they were introduced to that they like. Throughout their day, they are continuing to work their job. For the first month, for the first few months, for the first few years. They may not sell enough product to make money. And when I say make money, make a profit, right? Any products that they sell, they will make money. But they won't make a profit until they sell enough product to have the product that they sell surpass their earnings. That's business. And in general, businesses tend to take a while to make a profit. I don't know the statistics. Maybe I'll look them up at some point. But I would highly recommend that you look up the statistics about businesses and how quickly they make it. So here you are living your life, doing your thing. You've decided to participate in this MLM compensation structure, and you are sharing about a product with customers. And you're earning money every time, whether you've recruited anybody or not. That's another thing he often says. You can't earn money until you recruit people. I've never seen a compensation plan where that's a thing. Every compensation plan I've ever seen, when you decide to participate in the compensation structure, if you sell a product before you've recruited anybody, you will get paid for the sale of that product. There are some companies that you are not allowed to sell the product when you first join, but it has nothing to do with you recruiting anybody. It has to do with you operating in some sort of regulated market where you need to have someone who's licensed or practiced or whatever there with you to help you make those first few sales. And you don't get paid on those first few sales because those are training sales. I have seen it. But in general, if you make a sale, whether you've recruited anyone or not, you make money anytime you do that in every MLM compensation structure I've ever seen. I'm very curious as to the compensation structures he's talking about, or if maybe he's just saying stuff to encourage people to see the value in his points, which there isn't much. So we're going forward. Now, you're making money because people that you know see value in your product. Those loyal customers tend to remain loyal to you, not to the company, to you, if you weren't weird. And because they're loyal to you, when Amazon, Costco, Walmart, Target, whatever, promotes a shampoo, but they know they buy shampoo from you every month, they don't buy that shampoo. They don't buy the Target shampoo. They buy the shampoo their friend is selling. Is how it's designed to work. Does it work that way all the time? No. Second, weirdness. MLM companies, compensation structures are designed to incentivize recruitment as well. They're not looking for people who are going to just direct sale, to be completely honest, because of a lot of reasons. He's discussed time and time again that the MLM model, where they have multiple salespeople, is better for their bottom line because they're able to sell more products without paying as many people and not paying people as much. That is great for the company, right? And he points that out to suggest that people are so encouraged to recruit that they never sell. And he's right. But that's part of why they don't make money, because they don't recognize that they're in direct sales and they don't decide to operate a business. One of the things he points out is, okay, sell a few products and now you start to recruit your friends. Why would you recruit your competition? Well, he had on a gentleman who discussed franchise law. And man, this is going way too long, but there's so much that he says that's just wrong. MLM is not a franchise. Franchises are not MLM. I did learn something from him. Part of the reason for that is because MLMs cost less than $500. So in order to not have to participate in franchise regulation, they charge less than $500 is one way to look at it. Another way to look at it is that for less than $500, you can get a compensation structure, a product line, a set of products and services that, according to his guest, the franchise lawyer, are more alike than they are different. The difference is that the disclosures and the understanding of the challenges is mostly up to the person who decides to participate and less required of the company or the person who shared it with them. And there's a few reasons for that. The person who shared it with them paid less than $500. A person who pays less than $500 for anything shouldn't be expected to know everything about the industry that they are in for the product they're selling, not for MLM. MLM is not an industry. MLM is a business model. It is a marketing model. It's not an industry. It's not a business. I completely agree with him there, but it is a marketing model. And a person who pays less than $500 shouldn't be required to know everything about a marketing model. Also, the company being able to effectively spread the word in a sit down one-on-one conversation with someone for an opportunity that costs less than $500 isn't viable. McDonald's has the ability to sit down with each one of its franchisees because they charge $1.2 million for the franchise. I'm sitting down with somebody if I'm spending $1.2 million. I don't care who you are or how much money you make. You sitting down with me, we gonna talk about this. I'm gonna see some paperwork. But if I spent less than $500, the idea that I would expect somebody from the corporate office to sit down with me and explain things to me is ridiculous. So what do? They put it on their website. There are lots of resources available through the back office. Also, prior to the back office, there are resources available. And a person can do their own research before they decide to join, directly after they join. Most network marketing companies have a 3-day right to cancel for a full refund. So you can join, start to participate, decide it's not for you, quit, and get your money back. Just saying. It's all in place for the vast majority of multi-level marketing companies. But most don't do that. Most don't do their due diligence. Most wait for somebody to tell them what to do. I totally understand. And I know that that can feel like you got scammed. But all of the information was there. I'm not victim shaming because I know that there are some very charming people that use a lot of extraordinarily manipulative conversation. And that is because, as Marco says, the Lamborghini is sexier than 10 years of hard work. It's sexier. So most people don't want to hear, I might have to do 10 years of hard work to turn a profit in this business. They don't want to hear that, but it's plausible. Plausible. Now, unlike the vast majority of businesses, it is possible to turn a profit in your first month. And me, I don't know if I can say this. I'm not going to say it on this, but gotta be trained, right? So for the last 8 years, in my operation of my business, right? Because I do treat this as a business. I have offered anyone who has come into my organization what's the word? Like a safety net. I'll say a safety net. The safety net has been this. If you decide to participate on my team in this business model, in this marketing model, and you follow my instructions and my training in the first week, and you don't make your money back in your first month, I will personally give you your money back. No questions asked. You can stay or you can quit at that point. You didn't lose. You didn't spend anything. In 8 years that I've been doing this, I have never had one person take me up on that and not make money their first month. That's been my experience. That may not be my experience forever, but that has been my experience currently. I feel good about it. That's how I want to operate my business. Never in the history of my time in network marketing has any high-level network marketing professional multi-level marketing professional suggested that that was a good idea. Never, not once, ever. But I choose to do it in my business because I operate my business with my choices. And I operate my business differently than is typical in network marketing, typical in MLM, because I have certain beliefs and values and goals, and I want to be as transparent and fair and build a sustainable long-term business where people who decide to go into business with me recognize that I gave them every shot, recognize that I gave them every opportunity, recognize that I gave to them. And they either choose to run with me or choose not to. That's what I choose to do. So I'm losing where I am, but let me get back on point. We are talking about selling these products and then recruiting people. So now you've sold these products, you're making money from your loyal customers who are not choosing to buy elsewhere because they're buying from you, the person they know. You're also being trained to continue to get to know people, to add people to your list over time. And these people that you add to your list, you do so where you prospect while you're out. You don't go out to prospect. You're not going to Walmart to find people to sign up for your MLM. You're not going to the movies to find people to enroll them in whatever product or service that you're offering. While you're at Walmart, if you see someone looking at a dress that you like, say, I like that dress, you have good taste, and have a conversation with them while you were out. You were out anyway. You weren't spending additional time. You were out. You're out. You see people all the time. And while you're out, you tell people, hey, I have something that you might like. I either have a product, a service, or an opportunity. So you're not knocking on people's doors. You're not changing your profession to that of a direct salesperson, but you are participating in direct sales while you are living your life. Because you have a product that you believe in, hopefully, that you believe will add value to people's lives, hopefully. And what I tend to believe is that while you may not be an expert in that product, he always talks about, I doubt this person is an expert here and an expert there and an expert there. You're right. But whether you're an expert or not, that doesn't have anything to do with you seeing value. And if you see value and you're sharing that value with people and they choose to buy, that's direct sales. What about selling to the people who decide to participate in the platform? Well, there's lots of reasons for that. Obviously, commission, obviously, no doubting that for sure. But also, they are choosing to use the products because they want to be a product of the product. They want to understand their product. It is good business to have used your products or to have experienced your products or to at least have a deep understanding of your products if you're going to be selling said products. So there's sales logic behind that. But what is really cool, and what a lot of times he says that really distresses me, it's never required. I've seen a lot of MLM compensation structure. It's never required to buy a product to participate in the compensation. Never. There are incentives to buying the product that can help you participate in the compensation plan more thoroughly, earn higher percentages, earn bonuses, earn stuff like that, for sure. Every single MLM I've ever seen gives you some sort of incentive if you are participating in the product yourself or through retail sales, right? But in general, you refer sales to yourself, generally, right? The person, if you decide to participate in the compensation structure, isn't selling you anything. You generally, it's called personal qualifying volume, meaning you bought it from yourself or you sold it to non-distributor customers, whichever one is faster, whichever one is better for you. So here you are, you have these people now selling products. So why would you recruit your competition? Your franchise lawyer said it best. Market effect. Market effect. People do things that everybody's doing. So if me and all my friends are doing something, people within and outside of my friend group have more trust in it because everybody's doing it. Hey, I'm going to go see this movie. Really? How is it? I don't know, but we're all going. Okay, I'll go. People tend to try something if everybody's doing it. And that market effect helps everybody in the market to a point. And this is one of my favorite, just ridiculous things. It's a mathematical model. Well, if I get 5 and they get 5 and they get 5 and they get 5, 13 levels deep, people have to start banging to make more people so that I can continue the thing, right? That's the John Oliver thing. I highly recommend that. That's an amazing video. But the model doesn't represent reality. The model represents a mathematical model. And if you're looking at mathematical models, you could say, okay, 99.7% of people are in the red when participating in an MLM marketing model. Okay. So if you look at the world and there's 8 billion people, that means there's room for something like 24 million people to be in that 0.03% or 0.3%. Wow, that's a lot of people that can get wealthy. Again, also ridiculous. I'm not suggesting it. Here's what I'm suggesting. There are no saturated markets. MLM has been around for a very long time. And never in the history of that time has there ever been a saturated market. There has never been a market where everybody in the market was in the MLM. Never. There never will be. This year, anybody who decides to participate in an MLM can find 5 people. Anybody. Honestly, any of those 5 people can find 5 people. Will they? No. Of course not. In fact, here's the reality of it all. When you show an opportunity to 7 people, 1 will join. Maybe. 1 might join the opportunity. The 6 will say no. Again, follow me here, because the idea that this works against the person who decides to participate in the MLM is the most ridiculous thing in the world. Because if it were easy, it wouldn't pay so much, is the truth. So it's hard. It is. It's very hard to make money participating in an MLM marketing structure. But with it being hard, there are people who can make 7 figures a month. That should be hard. That's ridiculous. It should be hard. And it is. So let me continue. You're going to tell 7. Well, first, you're going to try to invite 7. 1 is going to show up. 7 that show up, 1 might say yes. 7 that say yes, 1 might do anything. 7 that do anything, 1 might be a leader. 7 leaders, 7 leaders, and you are free. Honestly, for most MLM opportunities, it's less. Could be as little as 3 or 5. But 7 leaders, you're done. It's the truth. It's the truth. I've seen it. It's the truth. Many people have seen it. It's a volunteer army. And if you find 7 leaders, you're done. Now, How you choose to operate your business will dictate who your leaders are. What do you allow? Do you, as a business owner, allow your leaders to exaggerate? Do you, as a leader, allow your distributors, allow your leaders to not disclose things? Do you, as a leader, encourage massively multiplied chains of ridiculousness? If you, as a leader, do that, which there are leaders in MLM that will encourage you to do that, because that's what they did. They are encouraging you to get success like they did. They will tell you all the time, hey, wasn't making any money. I said, you can do it. And people did it. And then I was making money. And I said, see, you can do it. And then they did it. And now I've got 7 leaders who are telling people they can do it, who are making money legitimately, but they weren't when they started. They spoke it into existence. I agree that that doesn't feel good to me. I agree. I won't say anything bad about that. But I also can't deny the results that it has brought. And the argument, of course, is that if you have to lie to get results, are the results even results? And you know what? I almost give you that. It's really messed up. And that's why I do agree that MLM needs stricter guidelines, stricter enforcement. But it has to start with you as a leader. Because if you're operating a business, it's your business. It doesn't matter what Coca-Cola does if you own the corner store and you offer Coca-Cola in your corner store. That's something he says all the time, and I actually love that. If you own a corner store and you sell Coca-Cola, you're not partnered with Coca-Cola. You own a business and it sells Coca-Cola, but what Coca-Cola does doesn't have to influence you. And yes, if Coca-Cola acts a dang fool, you can choose not to offer Coca-Cola anymore. But if your customer base loves Coca-Cola, you can also say, hey, I don't care what they're doing. I'm selling you Coca-Cola because you like Coca-Cola. It's up to you. It's up to where your line is, right? I live in America. There are lots of things that America does that I don't want, but I live here. I believe living here is a great thing. So I'm not going to move. My dad moved. My dad went to Thailand because he didn't like what America was doing. And I respect him for that, but I chose to stay. So just depends on where your line is. But with this business model, with this marketing model, how you lead matters. How you run your business matters. And if you find 7 leaders that you have trained that behave in alignment with your morals and values, you will have leaders that are transparent. You will have leaders that understand their business. You will have leaders that don't hype their way to success. And it might take a little bit longer. But hopefully, it's been a lot longer, and I might have to cut this down too, like he said. But there's so much, and I really would love to debate this man, because I would actually address the things that he said. Hopefully, I could educate him on how he, and here's my belief, and anti-MLMers, I understand where your feelings are at, and your feelings are valid. They really are. And I agree, there's some serious things that happen in these spaces that are unjust and messed up, and I'm not doubting that. I also really kind of agree that it's encouraged, right? It's kind of like, can you gain a country without war? Mostly not. You know, it's hard to gain ground on an established enemy. without some kind of sacrifice, without some kind of loss, and doesn't ever justify it. So I don't claim to justify what anybody did that caused you to whatever. But this is something I believe. Anti-MLMers, you are also doing harm. Always, Marco, when you went to your friend's MLM opportunity presentation, and he was so excited, he invited you there, and you didn't know nothing. You sat down in the presentation, you started to feel a little bit queasy, and you didn't like what you saw. You went online and found your tribe, anti-MLM, explaining how the thing that your friend invited you to was a pyramid scheme. And armed with that new information from these people, you told your friend you had to think about it, and y'all are not friends anymore. And you have your whole life blamed that on the MLM. Is what I'm hearing. And I look forward to talking with you and you correcting me if I'm wrong. But it could also be argued that that was the fault of the anti-MLM that made a video, that posted something online describing that company as a pyramid scheme. And because you read that, rather than trusting in your friend who you had known your whole life, you chose to trust what you read online. And now y'all aren't. You're doing harm. But I believe you believe you're doing good, which is true also of a lot of people who choose to participate in MLM. People who choose to participate in MLM that do not treat it like a business, tell their friends, repeat all of the jargon that they've heard these conferences from their uplines, from the books, and have no idea. Those scammers think they're doing the right thing because they believe, but they're hurting people. I totally agree. But I also believe you think you are doing the right thing and you're hurting people. And I look forward to talking to you about it. I am terrified to post this because, like I said, I have no following. I am not yet making money over my costs in MLM. And so I don't even know how many people are going to see this except people who know me. And upon hearing very clearly again, because I'm fairly transparent with people who know me, but I also do behave very professional. So they may think I'm making a lot of money. Now, knowing for a fact that I'm not making any money, they might laugh at me or ask me why I do what I do. And I hope they do. I hope they do, but it's still going to hurt sometimes if they think less of me. But I can't sit there and watch you grow in popularity and tell these mistruths to people. It's just not fair. So there's somebody who has to come out here. And I know you have some people that talk to you, but right now, as of yet, every single person that I see that has gone up against you has not come at it from a space of empathy. They haven't come at it from a space of transparency. They haven't come at it from a space of factual conversation. They come at it with aggression, with fallacies that you talk about, with all the things. It's very common. And I look forward to hearing you critique this video. I really, really hope that this gets your attention, because I think that there needs to be that conversation where, you know, again, I claim to be somebody who studied the industry. A little bit about my background. I'm an advertising and public relations major who learned about MLM in college. I'm an author, wrote a book called The Power of Mental Wealth with some other prominent people in the MLM space. And I write about conversion. I don't write about business at all. I also am the Hawaii State Champion of Public Speaking for the last 3 years with the Toastmasters organization, which I believe in, and I believe is extremely positive in its ability to help people become better human beings. So I'm making a better me. And I personally attribute a lot of it to my choosing to participate in that. I think it's made my life better, despite a lot of the challenges that I faced because of it. And I believe it's worth having a conversation with you. So thank you. Have a great day. Ooh, you can live in paradise forever, everybody. You can. You just have to decide. You have to decide to follow your dream. It's your dream. Nobody's going to sell you a dream. It's your dream. And to anybody who is anti-MLM, people following their dream, I'm not going to be rude. I'm not going to do what he does. I'm going to just say thank you for inspiring me to do something. Aloha.